think he's just trying to
No, the whole game.
Go for it. One more time.
I don't think everyone does it on time and no one's counting down. Like,
Yeah, just literally, I saw it at the end of it. he's not going to reach you. Yeah, because he's still a child. Why not?
Because there are so many fucking other people that...
I don't have an IMDb credit. It's forgettable. I think it's pointless. The average is the one thing is the whole system. So I have to find the photo of a young, like 14 years.
Sorry, Chief, didn't just walk right through your shop.
Hey, we might just go, Marco, I've got 6 pictures, just sign up. Don't get. I have Samuel Jackson for 5.
Oh, there it is. The old Charles Bronson. Yeah. Tarzan's a really great film. I really enjoyed doing inspirational posters. Some of them, I would love to put them out and put them around the office.
I think I cried the other day because I had an episode of Tarzan Premiere in it. And he said, like, no one can kiss my wife. It's like, no one can take my life, my wife to bed. And he settled on that one. And I was like, that's brilliant. That's the guy.
The most amazing things that can happen to a human being can happen to you if you just look at it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the guests discussing excellent horror stories, screenwriter of Legend of Tarzan, Adam Koda.
Brian, nice to see you, man. Nice to see you.
You, come on over, my friend. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And
Good.
yes.
Now,
Great name, fantastic name.
now tell me, talk me through who contacted whom and how did it first come about?
I think the filmmakers got in touch about 8 weeks ago or so. I was in LA at the time and just kind of fallen off tour. So it's the first time I kind of had a bit of time that I could kind of put my head into the space of writing something kind of beginning to end. And so yeah, I was in LA at the time, which meant I got to see an early edit of the film. And kind of just talking about the project. David Yates is a fantastic director, and it was really exciting to work with something with him, and it's an amazing cast. So it was a really short deadline, but it was just a kind of case of, I was kind of watching the film, and seeing what stuck, and seeing if I could write a song that was, resonated with their vision of what to do. But yeah, it was good. Okay, but yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's that central relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I would be someone that knows to say that it's signed by a character. How are you?
It's about amazing.
Yeah, good. That's good.
Excited to be here tonight.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I was lucky enough to be at the LA premiere a few days ago, so it's nice to be here too. Beautiful day for it.
It is, yeah. Have you seen the film there?
I got to see it for the first time in its finished form in LA a few days ago. Yeah, which was
What's
fun.
it like watching it with the audience? I mean, is it a different kind of vibe to watching it in a kind of closed-off room?
There was, yeah. I mean, the first time I saw it was, as I say, it was me and my manager and somebody from the studio. It's nice, and it was in a gorgeous theatre in America, and very excited audience. Yeah.
And I read that the songwriting process was kind of quite quick. It's quite a quick turnaround with a deadline. How does that affect your work when you're doing it?
It's nice to have a fire under your ass a little bit. It was an interesting kind of learning experience, and sometimes the difference between the idea and the song is the deadline. So it was 4 weeks to have it mixed and mastered and finished. And so I kind of said if I had a demo in about a week, we might be on track, and if not, so I did my best, and they were very patient. I gave them about half a song after about 7 days, and made it the rest of the way eventually. It was quick. It was quick.
Anyway, enjoy your night.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you. Thanks.
Millions of fans, and it's been lasting 100 years really at this point. I guess it was in 1916 or something like that. And then build in that mythology into a true story. And what ends up happening when you do that is some becomes it becomes greater than the sum of its parts. Really. And so it seemed like the perfect way to kind of relaunch. And then Alex. I mean, Alex is the greatest guy. Everybody loves this guy, and Sam Jackson too. Like these two men were wonderful to work with. They're terrific actors. Alex, the dedication he showed to it. Almost a year of work.
How are you? I'm alright, I'm good. Many congratulations first and foremost. Watched it this afternoon, loved every minute.
Thank you so much.
A lot of fun.
Thank you.
Now tell me, how excited were you to be playing in the sandpit that Edgar Rice Burroughs created for us?
Do you know what was really fun about it is I don't think an audience has been back to Africa for a while.
And Africa as a continent has such a troubled reputation, and not necessarily deservedly so. I mean, there are so many things going on there that catch the headlines in the wrong kind of ways. And what you forget is what an extraordinary place it is. Beautiful, diverse, the landscapes, the people, you know, and so to sort of set a movie in that environment to me was really special, and that's one of the big appeals of it. So you're bringing this classic character who's got like a big cultural footprint going back 100 years, but you're bringing him into a modern movie making experience. So it's not the old Johnny Weissmuller, me, Tarzan, you, Jane kind of world. It's a very sophisticated, immersive experience into the world of Tarzan that we've never been able to do before, simply because, you know, a while ago the technology didn't exist. So for me it was exciting on those two fronts.
And obviously you guys nailed it with Alexander and Margot in that Tarzan Jane relationship. How was it working with those two?
Well, Alex is a real trooper. He gives 150%. I don't think I've ever worked with an actor who puts in quite as big a shift, frankly. First of all, to get into physical shape, but also, I mean, even now at an event like this when he's promoting the movie, he just never stops, you know, and he's traveling around the world helping the movie and in such a lovely way. And he's a fabulous guy. I actually phoned him to say he was going to do the role, or offer him the role, I should say, when he was about to set sail to cross the Atlantic. And so actually between the time I chatted with him about doing it, he'd just come back from the South Pole or the North Pole, trekking across, and then we discussed it, and when I phoned him to offer him the role, he was about to sail across the Atlantic. So that gives you some indication of the kind of life he leads when he's not acting. He's a really impressive human being, actually.
He doesn't look normal.
He doesn't look normal. He's far too tall for a start.
We're going to bring in Christopher to show where he is.
Thank you very much. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you.
Now, could you do me the honour and tell me how much fun was it to play the deliciously evil Ron, Mr. Ron?
It's difficult to quantify. I think you said it, fun. You know, it was work too. But I have fun when I work. So the harder the work, the more the fun. But I can't quantify it, sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine. And we've just spoken to David. How was it working and collaborating with Mr. Yates?
Mr. Yates is better than the Prime Minister in negotiating everybody's happiness and everybody's collaboration. So, you know, the analogy is not completely far-fetched because directing a movie that size is an enormous task, and you know, to negotiate the full spectrum is enormous, and he did it.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your name.
Right here?
All right.
So I was reading, you know, this character you play. I didn't realise he's a real historical figure.
No, he's not. No. No, I don't know why. First of all, I don't understand why the fascination would be any bigger if there were a so-called real historical figure. And second, it serves the story. You know, I hate to break it to you, there are people today, living today, who are probably worse. So, you know, yes, there is reality in it, but not necessarily as a portrait of a historical figure.
Just a kind of general question. If you, as a cast, were thrown into the jungle, who do you think would survive the longest? Who's got it to take?
Oh, we're talking about minutes. It doesn't make any difference.
And finally, what was it like working with David on this project? How was it?
Well, you know, it's such an enormous task that sometimes I felt I have to kind of take care of him a little bit than the other way around. He doesn't need my help. He knows what he's doing. Trust me. Thank you.
Accomplishment of character. Yeah, so it's beautiful, and for subtly he put so many social issues that are quite relevant today.
Thank you so much, man. Enjoy it.
How's it going? Yeah, nice to meet you.
What do you think it is about the Tarzan story that's so appealing to people?
Well, it's the fantasy. The fantasy of this wild boy in the middle of in the middle of the wilderness, able to speak to the animal language, and I think it's that fantasy, and it's an iconic fantasy.
And what's it like being here tonight? I mean, obviously you're going to go into the cinema, you're going to watch it with your fans. What's that like seeing it?
It's wonderful. I mean, this is a very mature Tarzan for us, in a way that obviously this is a revenge-driven story where he took something very precious from me, which is the loss of my son, and but again it's a revenge-driven story, but David Yates was able to subtly highlight some of the social issues that we see today.
And what do you think he does differently as a director? I mean, what's his different take on this?
I think he's able to bring some of the story to some of the most organic platform. Certainly his way of approaching a story. It's definitely with with a great essence.
And just quickly, everyone's talking about Alexander's diet, the training regime. So did you have to go through anything similar? Did you have to?
Well, like I said to you, I came in and he looked like Tarzan, and obviously, I sort of met up to the program very quickly, and then I try to be, certainly in the best shape possible to fight him. It was definitely a struggle, and it was quite a challenge to do all those fight scenes.
Thanks a lot. Have a lovely night. See you soon. Hi, David. Hello, mate. How are you? So tell me about how this came about and why you decided to bring Tarzan back.
It just felt like he was a wonderful, iconic character that hadn't been out for a while, and I was really excited about making a movie a movie set in Africa. Okay, and Africa's an amazing continent, and it's always in the headlines for the wrong reasons. And there was something beautiful about taking this character back to his roots, and the script by Adam Kozad and Craig Brill was terrific.
And were you always planning to have Alexander as the new character?
Kind of really early on. It's very unusual. You usually go through a big process of kind of figuring out who it can be. But Alex had so many qualities that were perfect for the role. One, he's a really fine actor. It's in Melancholia and Generation Kill, some of his earlier work, which showed real detail and nuance as an actor, and great interior worlds. And then he's got an amazing shape. He's very vertical, very beautiful, and so it was a combination of things that I really loved him.
Vertical is a good word. I like that. That's actually a nice word in relation to his physique.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously everyone's talking about his physique and the amount of work he had to do to go through that. Did you, was that quite difficult seeing him going through quite a difficult training regime?
Not for me. I mean, he did it all. I used to get these photographs of him every week. And my wife was getting quite worried by this because there'd be semi-naked pictures of Alex building up. And he works so hard. I've never worked with an actor who's put in such a shift as Alex has done on this movie.
What was the hardest thing for you to film?
Do you know, really prosaically, it's a bloke swinging on a wire or a vine. The physics don't add up. So you put a guy on a vine, and as Johnny Weissmuller used to in the old movies, he would just sort of swing through like that. And the fact is, we put so many stuntmen on so many wires and filmed them in so many different ways, and eventually we got this amazing trapeze artist in called August, who was amazing, and he was able to move around the space in a really balletic, graceful, Tarzan-like way, and he inspired most of the swinging stuff that we eventually developed in CGI.
You just wouldn't imagine that kind of simple thing.
Oh mate, it was crazy.
And just finally, very quickly, if you and the cast were thrown into the jungle, who would survive the longest?
Ooh, that's a very good question, actually. Do you know who would survive the longest? Margot. You know, she's feisty, she's independent, she knows her own mind, she's really for the role. One is a really fine actor. I'd say Melancholia and Generation Kill, some of his earlier work, which showed real detail and nuance as an actor and great interior worlds. And then he's got an amazing shape. He's very vertical, very beautiful, and so it was a combination of things that I really loved him.
Vertical is a good word, I like that. That's actually a nice word in relation to his physique.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously everyone's talking about his physique and the amount of work he had to do to go through that. Did you know, was that quite difficult seeing him going through quite a difficult training regime?
Not for me. I mean, he did it all. You know, I used to get these photographs of him every week. And my wife was getting quite worried by this because there'd be semi-naked pictures of Alex building up. And he works so hard. I've never worked with an actor who's put in such a shift as Alex has done on this movie.
What was the hardest thing for you to film?
Do you know, really prosaically, it's a bloke swinging on a wire or a vine. The physics don't add up. So you put a guy on a vine, and as Johnny Weissmuller used to in the old movies, he would just sort of swing through like that. And the fact is, we put so many stuntmen on so many wires and filmed them in so many different ways, and eventually we got this amazing trapeze artist in called August, who was amazing, and he was able to move around the space in a really balletic, graceful, Tarzan-like way, and he inspired most of the swinging stuff that we eventually developed in CGI.
You just wouldn't imagine that kind of simple thing.
Oh mate, it was crazy.
I just find it very quickly, if you and the cast were thrown into the jungle, who would survive the longest?
Ooh, that's a very good question, actually. Do you know who would survive the longest? Margot. You know, she's feisty, she's independent, she knows her own mind, she's really strong. Yeah, we'd all be decimated within 3 days, and Margot would still be standing.
Well, thanks a lot.
Take care.
I'm really well, thank you for asking.
I'm slightly overwhelmed there.
It's your red carpet, man.
It's insane.
Yeah. Now, what was your initial reaction when you discovered that new take on the character and the story in the script?
I was very excited. I was excited when I first heard about the project. Being a huge fan of Tarzan since I was a little kid, I would watch the old Johnny Weissmuller movies with my dad when I was a kid. But I was also very curious because, again, like the story has been told so many times. So I was very curious to see how Adam Kozad, the writer, had interpreted the story. And I just thought it was really brilliant to start in London and then return to the jungle, return to your roots. Roots in a way. It's different from the novel and different from most Tarzan adaptations. So I thought it was very smart.
Well, Alexander, thank you so much, my man.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely will.
We're just going to do
Hey, how are you doing? How are you?
I'm good. Slightly overwhelmed by all this.
Yeah, how is it? I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, it's been 3 years in the making, and now we're here. It's and I can't even describe the feeling.
I heard your dad's a massive Tarzan fan.
Yeah,
Is he really excited about this?
He's very excited, and I'm very nervous. He's back in Stockholm, so we'll go to Beijing tomorrow, and then Stockholm, and we do a premiere in Stockholm. I'll be sitting next to my father watching the movie 30 years after I sat next to him on the couch watching Johnny Weissmuller, like, he introduced me to Tarzan, and that's how I fell in love with the jungle and Tarzan. So it'll be a very huge moment for me.
It sounds lovely. And obviously everyone's talking about your diet and your workout regime that you've had to do. What was the first meal?
You'll see none of that tonight.
No. What was the first thing you ate when you came off the...
It was actually banoffee pie. Jess, my costumer, I haven't seen her yet, but she's here somewhere, that I worked with on the movie, baked a massive banoffee pie on the day of wrap, and I think I ate the whole thing myself. It was incredible.
And just a very quick question. If you guys were thrown into the jungle, who would survive the longest?
Margot Robbie.
David Yates said the same.
We did an interview today, and she was like, I'll eat Alex. I was like, very well. Wow. I will not go to the jungle with you, Marty.
Well, enjoy your night.
Thank you, I will. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hey, how are you? Busy? Yeah. Enjoy it.
Good.
Now, can you do me the honour and tell me what was your initial reaction when first presented with the script and a new take on Tarzan Premiere?
I was really excited. I mean, I had only really seen the animated version, and I loved that when I was a kid, so I was kind of intrigued to see what they'd do, and it just felt really big and epic, like a big action adventure film with a love story, and I love those films, so I was excited.
And speaking of love story, how was it working with Alexander and bringing Tarzan and Jane's story here to life?
He's the best person to get to work with because he's just the nicest guy in the world, genuinely the nicest guy. Like, getting to do press with him is even fun because he's just great, and he's an amazing actor, but I already knew that, but I hadn't met him, so now that I know him as a friend, I'm really grateful I got to work with him.
And working with David Yates, how did you find him as a collaborator?
He's amazing. He's so collaborative. He's such a gentle person, which makes for a really nice atmosphere on set. It's really wonderful.
Margaret, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey,
Margaret.
how are you? How are you? Good.
So you're playing a very feisty Jane, which is not a dumpling.
She's a bit feisty, yeah.
Yeah, I heard somewhere that she actually pulls more punches or hits more people than Tarzan.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You definitely hit him in the sex.
It's yeah.
Did he come off badly?
He's absolutely fine. He's a big boy. He can handle himself.
So the question I've been asking everyone tonight is, if you're all thrown into the jungle, who would survive the longest? And so far, everybody has said you.
Really?
Yeah, without hesitation.
Really? Yeah. That's really kind of them. I don't know if that's true, but that's nice of them to say.
If it wasn't going to be you, who do you think it would be?
I mean, Alex has had so much practice, so maybe Alex.
Well, have a lovely night.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Hey, how you going?
How's it doing? The weather's good today for the
I know, it's amazing. I know, lucky.
So, yes, Jane, we kind of think of her as a bit of a damsel in distress sometimes, but is this a bit more of a kick-ass Jane? Is this a modern?
Yeah, it's a pretty feisty version of Jane. She's not so compliant to being held captive, so she's fun.
And are you happy to play a Jane that's a bit more like that, a bit more like...
Yeah, it definitely gives me more to do, and I think it makes it more exciting for audiences to watch, so yeah.
And also, was it quite a technically challenging film to be part of in the sense it's quite a lot of CGI, I imagine, so you probably having to imagine...
You would think that, but they actually built all the sets, like the jungle, the boat, the Cuba village, the Boma town, everything was tangible and there for us to, we didn't really have to use our imagination too much in that respect, it was really just the animals, so but you kind of use your imagination no matter what kind of thing you're doing, so it's great.
Okay, cool. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. Thanks. Hey, how are you? Oh, great. Amazing. He's just the nicest guy in the whole world. Very lucky. Thank you so much.
Letting myself into my backstory, and I had to put in that was I'm not very into the story.
Please take one back.